replace them.
No, I will free them to learn more challenging tasks that they can then dedicate themselves with joy and also have a fun
fulfillment
job.
In
Yes.
life.
Well, I personally, I think, I believe.
You're such a leader.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you were saying
I
RPA.
forgot about it. I'm so happy now.
So what's the difference between using complex AI models and, for example, just going for RPA, which has been already, proven and with us for some time, and there are so many pre-packaged applications which can do such things as removing the repetitive tasks.
Yes, but very often, if you have more complex tasks that you want to replace, RPA will use AI methods as part of the solution. So if your task that you want to solve is so easy, like to solve, then you can maybe have an easy, simple deterministic algorithm, like saying, if I get a piece A, I put it in slot A. If I get a piece B, I put it in slot B. But Camilla?
Or you can just hire more junior people and they will do the same thing.
They can do the same thing. But again, over time, they may get tired and of this RPA, robotic process automation.
Yes.
Well, if the logic behind is simple to implement and doesn't need AI for simple problems, of course, then you may have just use a rule-based system. For instance, you say, if this happens to A, if another thing happens to B. This may work for very simple stuff like certain emails when you do some
copying, pasting things in forms.
Yes, and so on. As soon as that task that you want to automate gets so complex that there are so many different combinations that may occur, and you simply cannot put this all in rules or execute them in reasonable time, then again, you will want to start thinking about using artificial intelligence, because then you can again gather maybe many different cases that are relevant. You can even not just do this yourself, but you can start observing users, how they interact with the system and manually make these choices. You collect this data over time, and later on you feed it into the AI, which in kind of light speed goes through all these manual tasks, replace them, and trains its logics internally with it to later on take away this stupid task of clicking on emails, sorting them into the right.
And don't touch the table.
And I do.
And also, and sometimes it can even suggest more optimal ways, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay.
I don't know. So depending,
So do you believe in it or not?
I believe that an AI will be the trained AI. If it's learning from the data it's fed, it will be as intelligent as maybe the data or allows it to be. So if there were many clever users, then it may also be very clever.
I mean about there, as you were discussing those very complex problems where you have lots of factors. You don't need to be in the middle.
I need to be in this one here.
You don't need to be.
But I'm outside of this.
So I was just saying that,
don't push me
as you said, there is in many of those uses, there is so much data.
Yes.
No.
Please say it again.
No.
Because I messed it up.
I forgot what I was saying.
It was not important.
No, you were talking about if AI can suggest more optimal ways. I believe it can, because as you said, there was you were discussing about those very complex problems where you have lots of factors, lots of changing things. It's not possible for human, even if he was sitting on this one use case only. It's not possible to catch all the potential information or data which can help them to optimize some processes.
I agree. You are right.
Thank you. At least once.
Yes, at least once. But I think it very much depends on how you train and what kind of AI you develop. If you have an AI that is like exclusively trained using solutions or actions taken by not so clever users, the AI itself will mimic that behavior. If you manage also in the process of training the AI, you can define some criteria that in a general way lead to a better result. You can use these rules for an AI to train itself. And like in the gaming example that we had earlier, so that the AI will play through many different actions and also evaluate the outcome and use this again to improve. So it will learn like a recursively. And like you also wrote in the nice article of you you recently published, that in a way they emulate the way children learn. So they will try to apply it and see if it was good or not. And through that process become more adept and an expert, only that their kind of growing out of the childhood will be much faster. And well, we may need a lifetime. They would be able to repeat all these experiments just in the flick of a moment.
So deep. Thank you so much, Dr. Jürgen Von.
A pleasure.
Bye-bye.
And never seen again.